Now that we've rasterized the illustration inside Photoshop, how do we save it to achieve the best results? Well, that's a question I'm going to answer inside this exercise, which is why I have not saved a progress file for you at this point. We're going to be actually saving this file together. So here I am working inside Photoshop, and that's the way it always works when you rasterize a PDF file or a PDF-compatible Illustrator file. You're going to get a single layer. It'll be called Layer 1. If there were any transparent portions of that artwork, then you're going to see transparency inside this layer. You'll see through to a checkerboard pattern. In our case, the entire illustration, every bit of the artboard was covered with opaque objects, and as a result, we have an entirely opaque layer. So we might as well go ahead and flatten our artwork. Now, I'll show you an exception to that, why you would go ahead and save off layers when you've rasterized an illustration in Photoshop in a future exercise. But for now, we're going to go ahead and flatten this layer by going up to the Layer menu and choosing the Flatten Image command. Now, if you work through any of my Photoshop one-on-one courses, you may have loaded my D keys for Photoshop, in which case you have a keyboard shortcut, Control-Shift-Alt-F here on a PC, or Command-Shift-Option-F on a Mac. And that'll go ahead and convert that layer into the background. Now, the background is not technically a layer inside of Photoshop. What it is a flat rectangular image. Now we're going to go ahead and save that image by going up to the File menu and choosing either the Save command, because it hasn't been saved before, but I suggest when you're saving a new image from Photoshop or a new document that you get in the habit of choosing the Save As command. And I would like you to save this file, if you're working along with me, to the 21 Photoshop folder. I'm going to go ahead and call the file Cropped Artwork, because so far it is cropped. We don't have those border elements. And then you need to choose a file format. Here are your options. For one, you could choose JPEG. That will deliver the smallest file size because you'll be able to apply some lossy compression. However, as I was telling you, a couple of problems here. A lot of commercial print houses frown on JPEG files. They'd rather you use either the PSD or TIFF file format. And also, for very good reason in this case, because JPEG is going to introduce compression artifacts that could end up messing up the details. And right now we have just splendid, noiseless detail thanks to our rasterization of this pristine illustration here inside Photoshop. So we don't want to gum up the works by introducing a bunch of JPEG artifacts at this point. So don't choose JPEG. The two formats you might want to choose are either the native PSD format or TIFF. They're both going to retain all of the integrity of the image. They're going to produce outstanding results. The one advantage of TIFF is that it's a slightly more compatible file format and it's going to deliver a smaller file size. So that's why I would recommend it. Go ahead and choose TIFF and then make sure the ICC profile checkbox is turned on and go ahead and click on that Save button. Then you'll see the TIFF options dialog box, and you'll have three groups of settings to choose from. Leave pixel order. I'm dropping down here. I'm going to discuss these in backward order of importance. Make sure that pixel order is set to interleaved, so don't change that setting. Byte order doesn't matter. Notice it's coming up as Macintosh, and I'm working on the PC. What you're really going to see, though, if this is the first time you've ever seen this dialog box, you're going to see Mac on the Mac side and PC on the PC side. It does not matter which one you choose. You can save a Macintosh file from the PC or a PC file from the Mac. Virtually every application out there that supports TIFF supports both varieties regardless of platform. This option up here, however, matters, image compression. By default, it's set to none. That's not what you want to select because you're going to get big, huge files from TIFF if you don't apply any compression. What you want is LZW compression. Now, you might think compression, that sounds bad. That's going to rewrite the pixels inside the image. Not true in the case of LZW. LZW is a lossless compression scheme, and it's really great. It's well designed for saving out illustrations in particular, because where illustrations are concerned, you have areas of solid color. Like all of our strokes, for example, are set to that rich black. And instead of saving each pixel independently, what Photoshop will do is say that these regions are black inside the image. Again, it's lossless and it results in a smaller file size. So every pixel of information will be retained, and yet you'll have a smaller file on disk. Go ahead and click OK at this point in order to save off that file. And that, friends, is how you save a flat, rasterized illustration from Photoshop. I'm going to end things by zooming in so you can see that every single pixel is going to remain absolutely intact inside this TIFF file. What you see is what you get. Again, you may see a little bit of color conversion going on. If you were to print this RGB image to a CMYK output device, there will be some color modifications that occur. However, otherwise, every single tiny bit of detail will be retained thanks to the fact that you rasterized this illustration inside Photoshop.